Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the BAOGELA 22806 homage to a Rolex Explorer 2. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing a Pagani Design PD 1734 with a meteor dial. It's supposed to be blue, but it sure looks purple to me. And Gregor is wearing my Bin Bond homage to AP Royal Oak. The Bin Bond doesn't have a reference number. Grogu said Han Solo told him that the Mos Eisley Cantina bartender was quite upset. The owner hung a New Balance behind the bar and the material looked like lizard skin. It made the lizard people so upset they refused to come into the cantina, and the bartender was missing out on a lot of tips. He asked Han Solo if he would shoot it since the owner wouldn't let him take it down. Han Solo pulled his blaster and shot it dead center, catching it on fire and burning it up. The bartender poured him a drink and said it was on the house. He said nothing is too good for the man who shot the lizardy Valance. If you didn't get that Grogu joke, I understand. But please watch the movie The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. It's a John Ford classic with John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart. You will not be disappointed. Alright, let's take a look at the watch. Comes in this box. And here it is, the BAOGELA 22806. Rolex released the Explorer 2 in 1971, and at the time the fourth hand was a 24-hour hand and not a GMT hand. The idea was that if you were exploring in a cave or the Arctic, you would know if it was AM or PM since daylight wasn't an accurate indicator. That was back when Rolex tool watches were still tool watches. Rolex's response to the quartz crisis was that all Rolexes are luxury items, even the ones meant to explore caves, and now the thought of wearing a $10,000 Explorer 2 inside a cave seems ludicrous, and not at all practical. Eventually Rolex switched to GMT movements, and the Explorer 2 became just another GMT watch with a fixed bezel. This is the third BAOGELA on my channel. So far I've been very happy with the brand, as they seem to be great value for the price points. For $50, you're getting a solid stainless steel watch with a Ronda quartz movement. I chose the black colorway even though I prefer white because I haven't reviewed a black Explorer 2 homage yet, so I figured it was due. The watch is 42.2 millimeters at the bezel, 51.7 millimeters lug to lug, but it has inverted end links, so it doesn't wear as large as you would think. It's 11.6 millimeters thick if you don't count the Cyclops, and I never do. Has a 22 millimeter lug width and weighs 148 grams on the supplied bracelet with 3 links removed. The bezel is a fixed bezel. Explorer 2s do not rotate like GMT watches do. And then the dial is black. Once again, you can get it in white if you want. And there is no sunburst effect on the dial. And then it says BAOGELA up top. Then on the bottom it says GMT Master. So I have a feeling that if you look at the BAOGELAs there, you can get them with the GMT style bezels. So I think they just use this dial for all the watches. And then it says professional diver. It doesn't say divers, so I think the rule is it has to say divers for it to be ISO certified, so I don't think it's cheating here. And then it just says 165 feet, 50 meters. Then we have applied Lume indices. And then we have the fence post minute hand and the Mercedes hour hand. And then we also have a lollipop second hand that's loomed. Then the GMT hand is also loomed just here on the tip. Then we have a date at the 3 with the Cyclops. The Cyclops does a decent bit of magnification, but not huge. But at least it seems to be centered. Not everyone's a fan of Cyclops, but I don't mind them. I think, plus the Rolex has a Cyclops, so it's trying to look like the Rolex. We have an unsigned push-pull crown. No need for a screw down when you only have 50 meters. And the crown action's fine. You don't get an annoying minute hand jump when you go to press it in. Nothing like that. This is a Ronda movement, so I would expect no better. Then we have a flat mineral glass crystal. I tested it and it's indeed glass. And BAOGELA does not claim sapphire, so it's not like they're lying or anything. It's just glass. It's a $50 watch. And then we have a solid steel case. It's polished on the side, brushed on the tops and the bottom. And it's a nice case. I like it. And then it has the crown guards as part of the case. They're not attached. Then the case back. We have a screw down case back. Once again, we only get 50 meters. But a screw down case back is better than a pop off case back, because usually then you only get 30. And then it says BAOGELA. Then it says 5 ATM water resistant. And then it gives the model number. And then it says all stainless steel. And yes, this is all stainless steel. This is nothing's plated. Then underneath the case back is the Ronda 515-24H. Don't get too excited. Ronda is a Swiss company, but they also have a factory in Thailand. And so they make 3 levels of watches. They make 3 levels of movements. They have the Swiss-made movements, which are assembled in Switzerland with Swiss parts. And then they have the Swiss parts movements, which have Swiss parts, but they're assembled in Thailand. And then they have the full Thai movements, which are Thai parts assembled in Thailand. This one, I'll show you the movement. It says Swiss parts, so this is the medium one. This has Swiss parts, but they're assembled in Thailand. So you have to be, do you really think that people in Thailand are no better than putting together movements than the people in Switzerland? I think the movement's just as good as anything made in Switzerland for this price. And this being a 515-24H, the way it works is when you turn counterclockwise, it turns the GMT hand and it turns it smoothly. This is not a jumping GMT hand. And then when you turn it clockwise, it changes the date. So the annoying thing about a movement like this, though, is when you go to set the GMT hand, if you go too far, you have to go all the way around again because it only goes in one direction. It'd be nice if it went in both directions and you didn't have a quick set date. Once again, this is supposed to be an Explorer 2, so to be accurate to the watch, you would set it to just 24-hour time anyway. But I have 2 other watches with this movement, and it's good movement. It's nice and accurate. I know quartz watches are accurate to begin with, but this is really accurate. At least on the other 2 watches I have, I hardly ever have to set them. The bracelet is fully articulating, which is rare for a watch in this price range. Then we have the polished center link and the brushed outer links. And then once again we have solid end links with inverted end links. So it's a good bracelet. And we have push pins and not screw pins. And I always say I'm perfectly happy with push pins. I just think they're easier and you don't have to worry about them coming out on you where you do with screw pins. And some watches put Loctite on the screw pins, which make it really hard to remove. So I like push pins. And then we have a butterfly clasp. Butterfly clasp, I'm not a huge fan of them because you usually don't get any micro adjust. And this one we don't have any half links either. So, but it seems to fit good on me. But yeah, I wish it had a more traditional clasp with micro adjust, because this is 145 grams. It's a 42 millimeter, 145 gram watch. So getting a good fit is important. Here's the watch on my 7.5 inch wrist. I removed 3 links to fit. So you should be able to wear this if you have like 8 1/4, maybe. You might be able to do 8 1/2. It'll be a little tight. But yeah, it looks nice. Here we are in the Lume room. The BAOGELA PRX homage that I reviewed earlier had great hand lume, but disappointing index lume. And the BAOGELA skull watch I reviewed, all the lume was bad. So let's see what this one does. I'm thinking that this one will be better than the skull watch. As we speed up the time, we see the lume is pretty good. The hand lume is good, and the index lume isn't as good as the hand lume, but at least it's a lot better than the index lume that was on the PRX homage that I reviewed. So yeah, I think this is pretty good lume results. I'm happy with it. What do I like about this watch? Well, you're getting a solid steel watch with a Ronda movement for 50 bucks. That's a pretty good deal. And I like the looks and finish of the watch. It looks really nice. And it's got pretty good lume for a $50 watch. Not excellent lume, but pretty good. What are my gripes and groans? Butterfly clasp. I wish it had a more traditional clasp that had micro adjust, because this is a 145 gram watch, so it's not light, so you're going to want a good fit. And really, that's my only real complaint. I mean, there's nothing else to complain about. It's $50, has good lume, a Ronda movement, solid steel. I mean, other than the butterfly clasp, I like it. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. It's a bargain at $50, and it looks a lot like the real thing. And oh yeah, I just didn't notice too, the second hand hits all the marks. So it's a sharp looking watch. It's affordable. And I really see nothing to complain about other than the wish it had a better clasp. Well, thank you for watching my review of the BAOGELA 22806, homage to the Rolex Explorer 2. And I will be back with another review or unboxing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.